Hello, welcome to Anita the Pedagogue channel. Today we continue with our literature analysis. For today we are going to discuss the poem Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. Let's go on and look at our lesson content. We will discuss a biography of the poet. We will discuss the title of the poem, the structure, the line-by-line analysis, the literary devices in the poem, that's the language. We'll move on to discuss the themes, and I'll share with you some likely examination questions. Let's get started with the biography of the poet. Percy Bysshe Shelley, born on August 4, 1792 in Sussex, England, was a prominent Romantic poet known for his radical ideas and profound literary contributions. The eldest son in a well-to-do family, he attended Eton College and later Oxford University, where he began his literary career with poetry and a Gothic novel, Zastrozzi. His controversial views on atheism led to his expulsion from Oxford, which severed ties with his father and plunged him into financial hardship. At 19, Shelley eloped with Harriet Westbrook and later became involved with Mary Godwin, whom he married after Harriet's tragic death. His literary output flourished during this time, producing notable works like Queen Mab and Prometheus Unbound. Shelley's poetry often reflected his political and social beliefs, including themes of revolution and free love. His life was marked by personal turmoil, including the loss of children and the complexities of his relationships. Sadly, Shelley's life was cut short when he drowned in a storm at sea on July 8, 1822, just before his 30th birthday. His enduring legacy includes powerful poems like Ozymandias, which critiques the impermanence of power and human achievements. Now, let's go on and discuss the structure of the poem Ozymandias by Percy Bysshe Shelley. I met a traveler from an antique land who said, "Two vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them on the sand, half sunk, a shattered visage lies, whose frown and wrinkled lip and sneer of cold command tell that a sculptor well those passions read, which yet survive stamped on these lifeless things, the hand that mocked them and the heart that fed. And on the pedestal these words appear, My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. Nothing beside remains. Round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare, the lone and level suns stretch far away." What does this poem have for us today? The poem Ozymandias is a 14-line poem, and it has a regular pattern in that it has end rhymes, and the end rhymes gives us a rhyme scheme of AB, AB, AC, BC, ED, EF, EF. Even though for the end rhymes for line 2 and line 4, that is tone and frown, do not really rhyme well, we will also consider them as rhymes because of how regular and how the rest of the end rhymes are perfect. Again, this poem is written in iambic pentameter, so each line has 5 sets of 2 beats. The first is unstressed and the second is stressed. So we have I, which is unstressed, met, which is stressed, unstressed, traveler, from, an antique land. So we say it is iambic pentameter. Again, right, looking at the title Ozymandias, we realize that it is an allusion to an ancient Egyptian pharaoh who was nicknamed Ozymandias. Again, this poem is written in the first person narrative point of view. The poem is like a prose or a story that is recounted. Again, This poem is rich in literary devices such as enjambments, the lines run on, there's personification, and it also has some irony and some other literary devices. But now we would like to move on and look at the title Ozymandias. Now, as I said, the title is an allusion to an Egyptian pharaoh, and if you look at the title, it's made of about 4 syllables, Ozymandias, and this can suggest to us that the poem is going to be about something complex or tackle a very crucial issue. And of course, it's going to chronicle or tell us about the ancient king Ozymandias. We'll now move on to a summary and analysis of the lines of the poem. Let's begin with lines 1 to 4. I met a traveler from an antique land who said 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone stand in the desert. Near them, on the sand half sunk, a shattered visage lies whose frown. And this already, the poem already begins with a narrative with a speaker whose identity is not revealed. He recounts his experience with a traveler from an antique or historical or ancient land. The traveler describes the remains of a statue in a desert, implying a barren land. The traveler mentions 2 vast and trunkless legs of stone. Now, this imagery shows that a statue is being described, and the statue described is broken. It is intriguing because statues are usually erected for prominent people and for symbolic and historical reasons. Let's move on to lines, a continuation. Metaphorically, this statue refers to the remains of a prominent person who we will come to know is Ozymandias, an ancient Egyptian king. The traveler gives further details of the shattered statue. It is half sunk in the desert sand, and its broken face or head reveals a frown. Now, the use of the phrases whose frown, wrinkled lip, and sneer of command by the speaker convey the king's attitude, which we can describe as arrogance and pride, as right away when you read the poem, it creates an unfriendly and fearful imagery of this ancient king. Let's move on to lines 5 to 8. The descriptions given by the speaker, which suggest he was a stern or wicked king, are what informed the sculptor or artist to carve him with a frowned face and wrinkled lips and sneer or scornful look. This shows how art communicates and reveals history long after it's gone, projecting the themes of art here. Now, in line 7, the speaker suggests the cruel treatment the subjects of the king received. And so he says he stamped on these lifeless things. Lifeless things could represent his subjects and empire, which are all a desert now do. In the line 8, the speaker uses synecdoche to imply the king's hand mocked and his heart fed them, indicating his harsh rule and leadership or rule of his kingdom. Let's move on to lines 9 to 12. An inscription on the pedestal boasts of Ozymandias' greatness, declaring, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." However, around the statue lies nothing but sand and desolation, reinforcing the message of this poem that all human achievements will eventually fade into vanity. In addition, the use of a desert setting symbolizes the isolation and desolation that follows the fall of greatness, emphasizing that nature will ultimately reclaim what humanity builds. Let's move on to lines 13 to 14. Here, the use of powerful alliterations and adjectives that create rhythm in the phrases colossal wreck, boundless and bare, lone and level sand. These phrases further describe the remains of Ozymandias' achievement. Again, the lone and level sands stretching far away symbolizes the vastness of time and the futility of human ambition. As time goes on, the achievements people have begin to also kind of crumble. Yes, they do not go into time. Each time has its own civilization. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Let's move on to the language and style. We'll focus on the literary devices here. So there's been the use of ellipsis. I'll also say caesura because of the pause we see in line 3. So stand in the desert, near them on the sand. So thus, the whole poem is enjambed. The lines run on, but here there is a pause to vividly describe how the works of Ozymandias has become nothing. Again, there is the use of alliteration, and this creates some sound as it also further describes the desert, what has become of Ozymandias' achievements. Stone and sand in the desert, lone and level sun stretch, boundless and bare. And here in line 5, Cold Command describes his attitude as a king. There's also the use of synecdoche in line 8, where hand is used to represent the king, and that he mocked them, and the heart that fed. So here, heart is representing what he did, he as a person. That's why it is synecdoche. There's also the use of personification in these same lines, because the hand has been given a human attribute and also the heart as well. There's also the use of irony. It is ironic for the pedestal to say, "Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair." And then nothing beside remains, rounded decay. It's ironic that as at that time there is nothing to look on. Again, as previously mentioned, yes, there is also allusion. The poem is an allusion because it recounts or describes Ozymandias, the ancient king of Egypt, and throughout the poem we see enjambment. Also, we can talk about metaphor. The sneer of Cold Command. The sneer of Cold Command talks about his stern rule or his oppressive leadership, so to say. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, comment, and subscribe. Support this channel. We would now like to move on to the themes. So the first theme I would like us to go through is the impermanence of human achievements. Shelley emotionally illustrates the fleetingness of human achievement through the imagery of decay surrounding the statue. The achievement of Ozymandias is described now as a desert. This powerful imagery suggests that human civilizations are not permanent but will pass. The description of the statue as a colossal wreck emphasizes not only its physical deterioration, but also the futility of human endeavors. The phrase boundless and bare evokes a sense of vast emptiness, reinforcing the idea that no matter how great one's accomplishments, they will ultimately fade into nothingness. Shelley uses contrast to highlight the difference between Ozymandias' former glory and his current state, stressing the inevitable decline that all human achievements face. I would like us now to move on to the theme, power is not permanent. The theme of the impermanence of power is central to Ozymandias. The descriptions of the king's statue wearing a frown, wrinkled lips, and a sneer of cold command shows the king was ruthless. This highlights how powerful he was. The boastful inscription on the pedestal of the statue, "Look on my mighty works, ye mighty, and despair," emphasizes the king's hubris, what brings him down, his arrogance and his belief in the permanence of his achievements. However, the reality presented in the poem plainly contrasts this arrogance. The phrase "nothing beside remains" illustrates the desolation surrounding the statue. highlighting that all of Ozymandias' accomplishments have crumbled to dust. Shelley uses irony here as the king's declaration becomes a bitter joke as time has eroded his empire and legacy. Just as Ozymandias, no matter how great or tyrant a ruler is, it is just a matter of time and their power and achievement is eroded to give way for another. Let's look at the theme of legacy. Shelley explores how art can immortalize a figure, yet ultimately fails to preserve their power. The sculptor's skill is evident in the way he captures Ozymandias' frown, wrinkled lips, and sneer, suggesting that art can convey the essence of a ruler even when the ruler himself has fallen into insignificance. The phrase, "the lone and level sun stretch far away," symbolizes the vastness of time and the inevitability of decay. However, imagery is used to evoke a sense of emptiness and the futility of seeking immortality through art, as even the greatest works will eventually succumb to the ravages of time. Let's move on to the theme human pride. The theme of human pride, and here arrogance, is evident in Ozymandias' grand self-assertion, his proclamation, "My name is Ozymandias, King of Kings," reflects extreme pride and an overestimation of his significance. The metaphor of the hand that mocked suggests that the sculptor not only captured the king's likeness but also his arrogance. Shelley implies that the king's pride is ultimately mocked by time, as even the greatest rulers are reduced to mere relics or residue. This theme serves as a cautionary tale about the consequences of excessive pride and the inevitable downfall that follows. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. Let's move on to some likely examination questions. 1. Explore the use of imagery in Ozymandias. 2. How does Shelley use visual descriptions to convey the themes of power and decay? 3. Discuss the significance of the inscription on the pedestal of Ozymandias' statue. What does it reveal about the character of Ozymandias and the message of the poem? 4. Analyze the tone of the poem. How does Shelley's choice of language contribute to the overall mood and meaning of Ozymandias? 5. Examine the role of the traveler in Ozymandias. How does the perspective of the traveler enhance the poem's themes and messages? 6. Consider the theme of impermanence in Ozymandias. How does Shelley illustrate the idea that all human achievements are not forever? Provide examples from the text to support your answer. This brings us to the end of our discussion of the poem Ozymandias today. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel for more. There are more analysis on poetry from Songs of Ourselves, Volume 1, Part 4. And so kindly check the playlist for more contents like this. You can also put any poem that you want me to analyze in the comments, and I'll surely take a look at it and get it done. Until I come your way again, keep learning and be the best version of yourself.